the Gould Mine podcast.
So when we're talking about the 15%, you said step up in basis. So in your example of the $1 million Bitcoin that you are buying or that you're selling, you still need to pay capital gains tax on that Bitcoin. You're just deferring the tax. But what you're saying is that there is a 15
step
when you invest into an opportunity zone from $1,001 to whatever you earn on that investment is tax-free.
No cap. Yep. No ceiling. So you could literally put $1 million in. Let's say you just a grandiose example. All right. Look at like OpenAI, you know, the company that put together ChatGPT. They're a relatively young company. You know, they're not what you would call like a really aged or seasoned business, right? They're only 5-6 years old for what they've done. If that would have been a business and you had that money go into stock and then look at what it took off to, you could have 100x return. You could turn your $1 million into $100 million. And that gap, that $99 million profit, tax-free.
Tax-free. Yeah. So when you say the step up, the 15% step up in basis, though, explain the benefit of that to the audience.
So, let's go back to that Bitcoin example, right? When I sell that Bitcoin, let's just say on Coinbase, at the end of the year, I'm supposed to pay Uncle Sam some sort of capital gains tax on that. If that sale was for a profit, right? Whether it's long-term, short-term capital gains, doesn't matter. I got to pay Uncle Sam something. And I'm paying him that tax based on the million. Okay. The 15%, what it was an incentive, an early on incentive to get people to utilize the program when it was brand new. Right. Yeah. And it said that when that tax is due on that million, because instead of me paying that million, let's say I did it in, this year as an example, right? I'm kicking that can down the road. So I'm eventually going to pay tax on the million. It's just when, right? So that deferment date, December 31st, 2026. So due on the 2026 taxes sometime January through October of 2027, depending on whether I file an extension, et cetera. But that million, I would have gotten a 15% step up in basis. So the way to look at it is like a 15% reduction. So instead of saying Uncle Sam looking at it and saying, oh, David, you sold Bitcoin for $1 million, you deferred the tax on it, you still owe tax on $1 million. The IRS is looking at it saying, okay, you sold Bitcoin for $1 million, but you took advantage of the program, you met the time parameters, you got the 15% step up, you only owe tax now on $850,000.
Right. Okay.
$1 million.
That makes sense. So like in that example, right, for just to bring it home for everyone, like let's say that you originally invested $500,000 and then you sold it for $1 million, right? And so you're getting a step up in the basis 15%. I'm assuming the step up is on the original $500,000 in that example, right? So you're getting a 15%.
It's on the original capital gain